Hello, Hellions and Helliots, and welcome to another episode of the Hellion Rebellion Rock and Roll Association, brought to you by Holly Geist, historian of everything rock and roll. Tonight we are going to showcase a record label because I have a really good compilation for you, and of course we'll play a couple songs from a couple bands that come off of this amazing label, and that is Lookout Records out of Berkeley, California. Lookout Records would show up around 1987, and they would go on to put out great music until 2012, which I have to admit, I've been out of the game for a while. I was kind of shocked by that. I thought Lookout Records, much like the Death Star, was still fully operational. Maybe it's time to get some bands together and bring this legendary record label back. It was started by, I think, Larry Livermore, who created a band called the Lookouts. So I'm assuming the Lookouts were the very first Lookout record band. But a lot of great bands would get their start on this label. I wouldn't really know this label until probably 1993, 1994, and yes, I will admit it, it was because of the band Green Day. By this time, I am fully aware of underground punk rock music, so I did know of Green Day before their masterpiece record, The Immaculate Dookie. I was aware of Kerplunk and Slappy and all that. And the other big band that would really come off of Lookout Records was Operation Ivy, which to this day, I would call them the greatest ska punk band of all time. We can argue about it, but in the end, they're still going to be in the top three, top five greatest ska punk bands of all time. But those two bands really made me aware of this record label. By 1993, 1994, a record store that sold punk rock, you couldn't go in there and not find tons of bands that were coming off of the Lookout label. So other bands that came off of this label would have been Rancid's first EP came off of this. Sawhorse, which I thought should have been a much bigger band, they showed up on the Lookout label. I want to say Veil, Pinhead Gunpowder. I want to say Paper Tulips. Paxton Quigley was a great band. 15 was amazing. Who else came off of this label? Anyway, every band on this label is very interesting. They talk about the Berkeley sound at this time, and it really doesn't sound like punk rock that came before it. It really doesn't even sound like California punk rock. You know, it's quirky, it's strange. It's not the most well recorded stuff. You can tell a lot of these guys don't know how to play their instruments. Uh, it's it has a lot of alternative rock elements. I don't know really what to say. I don't know how to describe the Berkeley sound at this time. But you knew that if you bought anything off of Lookout Records, there was a good chance that it would sound strange. You could tell it was a bunch of kids just having fun, and they're playing on down at Gilman Street, which has gone down in the annals of punk rock history as one of the great scenes in West Coast punk rock. Um, they were having fun, and oh, here's a label that will release their music and put out 7 inches, and we can put our music on compilations. So that's kind of what's going on at this time. The first band I'm gonna showcase from this is typical of the quirkiness, the strangeness of what was going on, and it's a band called Pounded Clown. Some people refer to them as PC. They would get started around 1989. They hail out of Sacramento, California, and they would go on to about 1995. And that's all I really know from this group. They have a horn section, and the reason I'm playing this is because this really shows the kind of the attitude and of the whole Berkeley punk rock scene at the time. So, without further ado, let's listen to Pounded Clown from Sacramento, California.
You are now about to witness the strength of street knowledge.
Is coming your way. Just forget about logic. A bad tip is coming your way. A bad tip is coming your way. A bad tip is coming your way. Coming your way. All on a pit that goes nowhere. A bad tip is coming your way. A bad tip is coming your way. A bad tip is coming your way.
So there you go, Pounded Clown. I don't know what it is. When I first bought this in probably 93 or 94, I wasn't into that. But over the years, I love that song. All right, here's another band that I think gets its start on Lookout. I've always considered them a Fat Records band. But the amazing Lagwagon. Lagwagon would come out of Goleta, California, and they are still around today. They were championed by NoFX or Fat Mike, and they have become their legends in their own right. But I thought this would be interesting to play this because this is them at a very young age, and you can just hear how good of a band they really were at this age. So let's check out Lagwagon.
He grew up with nothing. He lived and died poor. A father of four. He left his family temporarily for a piece of his own words that you cannot read. He said, join the army, join the navy, join the Marines, and his children rebel. But his transition was insulted and bitter. His time in this expendable number left his family apart. And all that boy wanted was to provide a better existence for his kids and wife. That's when they cost him his life. A family of veterans and fatality of war can be normally enough to justify the loss of life so young. Continental security, a torment high, there's no such thing. There was no hero in the end. Only letters of consent with more regret, bitter reason. Imposture, and all those boys wanted was to be alive or return to existence. And so many died, and those who returned were alone, nothing awaiting at home. Again the headlines read, a noble soldier finds a noble ending. They are the ones that can be done without expendable numbers forgotten, no doubt. A family of veterans has died.
I feel like my face is very important when I shave with something made out of gold. I'm bougie like that. Anyway, there you go, Lagwagon at a very young age. They had the chops from the very beginning, and they still have them now. So if you're young and getting into punk rock, check out Lookout Records. It's definitely a staple of the genre. A lot of amazing bands have come off of this label, and there's a lot of amazing bands that never quite made it, but they're interesting to listen to. So there's the show tonight. I hope you liked it. I like sharing my stuff with you, and I will hopefully see you next week. Keep the faith.